What's up, my guys and geeks? Forget absolutely everything else that's going on YouTube. Forget Star Wars and Stranger Things being in the same universe. Forget Professor Trelawney having a time turner. Forget Iron Man being a Skrull. This is about to be the most epic theory that I've ever come up with on this YouTube channel. As you all know, I love Harry Potter and Percy Jackson. I've made plenty of videos on both series, and there's a lot of similarities between the series down to some of the mythical creatures and some of the mythology that surrounds both these universes. So I got to thinking, and I realized that there's actually a way to link Harry Potter and Percy Jackson and prove that they take place in the same universe. Alright, if you go on to enjoy this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notifications bell for the next time I upload an awesome video. And be sure to comment down below, do you think that Harry Potter and Percy Jackson take place in the same universe? Now, in order to explain this theory, we need to start with the Olympian gods. We start with the Olympian Council, which contains characters such as Zeus and Poseidon.
Zeus, Hades, and Poseidon.
And we learn in Percy Jackson about how there are minor gods. These are gods that aren't necessarily powerful enough to be on the Olympian Council, but still run around in the world of Percy Jackson.
You're not strong enough.
And in the Percy Jackson series, we learn about the minor god Hecate. And Hecate is the Greek goddess of magic.
It's magic.
And we've seen a lot of examples in the Percy Jackson universe of different godly characters going behind each other's backs and interfering with mortal life. We see the legend of Prometheus and how he was able to give fire to the humans without the gods knowing until afterwards. We see the example of Pandora's box being given to Pandora and interfering. We even see the example of Ares being able to hold on to the lightning bolt and the helm of darkness without the other gods knowing.
I'm not the lightning thief. I don't have the bolt.
So what I believe is at this point, Hecate splits off the world into two different branches. We have our demigods, which are obviously the children of the gods and mortals.
Yep, you're a demigod. 2 points for Percy Jackson.
And we have wizards, which Hecate creates.
You're a wizard, Harry.
And Hecate takes normal humans and gives them the ability to perform magic. And this is where we get the origin of wizards within the Harry Potter universe. And now that poses the question of how are these different universes kept separate? How is it possible that wizards and demigods have not run into each other yet? And that's where we bring in the Mist and the Obliviate spell.
What?
So the Mist in the Percy Jackson universe is a kind of mythical veil that conceals different aspects of the universe from mortals, demigods, and even other immortal creatures.
Mist?
Missed.
And we've seen that Hecate in the Heroes of Olympus is shown to not only have a connection to the Mist, but also have an incredibly strong ability to manipulate it. So on one side, Hecate is using the Mist to manipulate it and keep the demigods and any other characters from the Percy Jackson universe from fully realizing what's happening around them. And on the other hand, we have the Obliviate spell, which we're introduced to in Harry Potter as a way to erase memories.
Obliviate!
Obviously, Hecate, as the goddess of magic, is the origin of all this magic, and therefore would have the ability to control the Obliviate spell. So whenever necessary, she can simply obliviate a member of the wizarding world and specifically remove their memories of any interaction they have with the demigod world. But obviously that's a lot for Hecate to do at one time, and we're even shown instances where it seems unlikely that Hecate is being personally involved in keeping these universes separate. So what works in that instance? Well, we go back to demigods. Hecate's demigod children are actually the go-betweens between the wizarding world and the Percy Jackson universe. And these demigods have knowledge of both universes and work to keep them separate, either using the Obliviate spell or manipulating the mist.
It's a conspiracy.
We see that in a lot of examples, different aspects of the Percy Jackson universe are able to be kept entirely mysterious and secret, such as how Camp Half-Blood and Camp Jupiter were mostly unaware of each other's existences for hundreds of years, and how very few characters, even to this modern period in the Percy Jackson universe, are aware of the concept of Egyptian magicians. And we also see in the wizarding world that various secrets are able to be incredibly well kept, such as even to the modern point, Hogwarts people still having no idea where Beauxbaton or Durmstrang wizarding schools are located within the wizarding world.
The lovely ladies of the Beauxbaton's Academy of Magic, please greet the proud sons of Durmstrang.
So it's certainly not inconceivable that, similar to the way that these different factions of the wizarding world and the Percy Jackson universe are concealed from each other, they're also simply concealed from seeing that the two areas share a universe. But I did mention the Egyptian magicians of the Kane Chronicles series, and that brings up a whole nother question, because you're probably saying, well, magic doesn't work exactly the same in the Kane Chronicles series as it works in Harry Potter. And I have a quite simple explanation for that, and that's Greek versus Egyptian. In my example, the Harry Potter Wizarding World magic has come from Hecate, who is a Greek goddess. By contrast, in the Kane Chronicles series, we are told that they are given magic from the Egyptian gods, who imbued the ancient Egyptian pharaohs with magic. And these pharaohs and their bloodline lineage passing down through the ages is how magic is transmitted. So that would explain why these systems of magic seem to work slightly differently, because their sources of power are different. However, there are similarities between the two universes, which is explained by whatever kind of mystic power allows the gods to be linked. Because we see that the Greek and Egyptian gods seem to work similarly, both in terms of power and also in terms of the fact that they're able to disappear or vanish or die if they lose their followers and people no longer remember them or think about them.
Doesn't sound that dangerous.
There's other similarities, such as how both universes use wands. And now you're probably saying that Harry Potter wands obviously aren't the same as Kane Chronicles wands, because the Kane Chronicles wands are longer sticks that are often used in combat, whereas the Harry Potter universe has thinner wands. But we also see within the Harry Potter universe a vast amount of discrepancy in the way that wands are created. Some wands are longer, some wands are shorter, they have different fillings, are made of different woods, and all of these different abilities affect the usefulness of that wand.
The wand chooses the wizard, Mr. Potter.
So what it is simply that the Egyptian magicians are better skilled at their craft. They've standardized their wand making, whereas the Greek universe is a bit more diverse. The wand chooses the wizard, and each wizard can have a wand that's uniquely suited to its different capabilities. And that explains how these different types of magic, while being somewhat different, still have so many overlapping similarities. It's just due to the different mythology that founded each kind of magic.
This is confusing!
And that would also explain the difference, the way that many different kinds of creatures are shown to exist in both the Harry Potter and Percy Jackson universes, with a chief example being centaurs, which are shown in the Percy Jackson universe to mostly be fun-loving party dudes, but in the Harry Potter universe over in England are shown to be far more serious people who read the stars.
I've never seen a centaur so royal.
However, this can simply be chalked up to cultural differences, as we also meet a bunch of centaurs on the Roman side of things in the Heroes of Olympus series, and see that these are a lot more of your traditional evil monsters as opposed to the generally fun-loving and also somewhat heroic centaurs of the main Percy Jackson universe. So these different cultural differences mean that there's simply different alliances of centaurs and other mythical creatures such as giants similar to the way that there's different affiliations of demigods and wizards. And so ultimately, we see that the Percy Jackson and Harry Potter universes actually can exist at the same time. And this is where the biggest plot hole might come in, because if you recall in the original Percy Jackson series, Percy Jackson goes to the Empire State Building in order to take the elevator up to Mount Olympus, and he encounters a doorman who's reading a Harry Potter book.
That's problem. That's problem.
And honestly, this was my biggest obstacle when trying to come up with this theory, because I had to figure out how in the world it was possible that Harry Potter's story could exist in the Percy Jackson universe, and yet Harry Potter himself also be a character who's in his 20s by the time Percy Jackson is born. And I actually figured out how to reconcile that. Now, see, the original Percy Jackson books are told from Percy's perspective. He makes it abundantly clear to us that he's telling his own story, and that if we're able to believe that it's just a fun story, all the better for us. But if we recognize ourselves in it, we may very well be demigods, and we need to be careful because monsters might be coming for us. And we also see that wizards, despite all their efforts to keep the wizarding world concealed from muggles, are not the best at it. And at a number of times there's been leaks, simply such as the time in Deathly Hallows, when Harry, Ron, and Hermione escape Gringotts on a dragon that's seen by muggles, or in Chamber of Secrets when Ron and Harry take the flying Ford Anglia and are spotted by no less than 7 muggles. So it's quite possible that a muggle-loving witcher wizard, or even a witcher wizard who is attempting to cause some mischief and sow discord between the muggle and magic communities, such as a maybe supporter of Grindelwald who wanted war between the wizards and the muggles,
Especially your filthy muggle mother.
could have told Harry Potter's story to, sorry, I just realized, not a supporter of Grindelwald, he was defeated before Harry Potter was born, but somebody with that same kind of mentality could have leaked Harry Potter's story into the normal world, or even simply published these books. The wizarding world looks down upon Muggle artifacts. It's doubtful that many of them would realize that Harry Potter's story has been published to the Muggle community. And so the Percy Jackson and Harry Potter universes actually exist side by side. And that's really incredible to think about, because it means that Percy Jackson and Harry Potter could actually go to each other's different organizations. Hogwarts takes place during the school year. Camp Half-Blood takes place during summer and winter breaks. Harry could actually go over to Camp Half-Blood and learn sword fighting, or Percy could hop on over to Hogwarts or the American Wizarding School and learn how to wield magic.
So, this is Camp Half-Blood.
Welcome to Hogwarts.
But all right, that's it for this theory. Be sure to tell me in the comments down below what you think. Do you genuinely believe that Hecate and the Egyptian pharaohs have been meddling in the Muggle world and created wizards as an entirely separate community? Or do you think that I'm just talking out of nowhere? Be sure to let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notifications bell for more Harry Potter and Percy Jackson information. If you want to see me rank the different members of the Heroes of Olympus by their page time, you can click on this side of the screen. And if you want to see me rank every Harry Potter movie from the worst to the best, you can click on this side of the screen. But you've only got 3 seconds because this video is about to end. Adios!